Have you been in a situation where the task ahead looks really complex and you don't know how to get started with it, and you tend to endlessly procrastinate? So in this video, I will be discussing some practical tips which can help you complete a complex task. So these tips are not just useful for a working professional or a student, but they are very much useful in our day-to-day life. So make sure to watch this video completely and find out. So tip number one, define the problem clearly. To get the right answers, you need to have the right question. Now this may seem pretty obvious, so the way I look at this is how well can I define my problem to someone else. In the process of doing that, we tend to focus on those aspects of the problem which were unnoticed when we were doing a self-talk. A rule of thumb, the smaller the surface area, easier it is to manage. So when you break down a complex task into a smaller one, you tend to isolate that problem and you are able to work on an individual isolated task. In that way, you are able to redirect or direct your energy in a much efficient way. So that is how most of the industries work, be it IT industry, auto industry, or any other industry. That is how the tasks are being done. That is how the projects are being delivered. So they have got these massive projects which they break up into different parts, and they have got different teams, each taking ownership of a particular part of the project. Now when they are done, they do is they assemble different parts of the software, or maybe a vehicle, or it could be anything. What they do is they assemble it and then they have the final deliverable. That is how it happens in the industries. So it works for everyone. It's a de facto standard and it should work in every case. Now there's a biological factor in it also. You must have heard about the dopamine effect. Now the dopamine effect is such that it gives you a sense of victory, a feel-good factor, and whenever you complete a task, whenever you have that achievement, you get that sense of achievement, there is a dopamine boost. And the dopamine is a rewarding hormone, as they call it. A rewarding hormone makes you feel good, and you are able to get that lost energy back. You are able to get the motivation back. And this is how you are able to, go on the journey, and you are able to solve a bigger problem. Discussing your problem with a coworker or a friend not just helps you psychologically, because you tend to get a psychological support, but also it opens up avenues for getting creative answers. Now to the same problem, you might be getting different answers from different persons. So that's also a good way of getting better answers. Tip number 4, never ever get overwhelmed with a problem. As simple as it may sound, but it is the most important point here. So if you think you cannot do a certain thing, you cannot solve a certain problem, chances are that you won't be able to solve it. So you have to clear your mind of all the negative thoughts that may come up. You have to imagine that the solution is right there and you're just following instructions and it should be complete. That's it. Do not think that the solution is not there. Just imagine that the solution is right in front of you. You just need to follow certain instructions and you are done. When nothing works out, I think it's time for you to shut off, take a break, recollect yourself, regain your energy, and start afresh. Believe me that I have had this situation many times in my career, and there were times early in my professional life where I would get stuck in a particular logical dead end in a code. While I'm programming on a certain task, I would reach a logical dead end and there just doesn't seem to work. What I would do is I would switch off my computer, sign off for the day, go home, rest, take a plenty of good rest, recollect myself, regain my energy, regain my motivation. I would start fresh next day with a strong cup of tea, and it just seemed to work. The answer would be right in front of me. I mean, it's just hard to believe, but the same thing which I didn't figure out the earlier day, I was able to solve it within 5 to 10 minutes. As surprising as it may sound, but this is the truth. You are a body and a mind. Your mind needs a break. So when you're working on a problem, your mind is stressed out. It needs a break. And you have to take a break. You have to reboot yourself, recollect yourself, give that rest, much needed rest, and start again with a fresh mind, with a fresh vibe, fresh energy, and you would see the problem would be solved easily. Now these were some of the tips which have helped me practically, and I have experienced them, and I thought of sharing it to you. If you have liked my video, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button and share it as well. Thank you for watching.